In today's episode of the Old Jarhead, we're going to actually do some off-grid bathroom renovations. We're going to do some work on the outhouse. We've got to replace some rotten OSB and some rotten poles and just kind of beef it up a little bit so that my guests have a little better facility to use. So we'll get right to it. Well, it's time to get the tractor fired up, folks. And yes, I'm walking with a cane. The back's getting there, but it ain't all the way there. I guess I better move my tractor. Otherwise, well, could be ugly. All right, what are we up to? First of all, yes, I fell that tree. Don't tell Darcy. She might get mad at me for doing this with my bat. But anyway, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna delimb this tree here, and I'm gonna get a log that's about 115 inches long. We're gonna take that over to the outhouse and stick it from the ground to the very edge of the porch roof that's sticking out to support it. Then we'll do another one on the other side so that that roof is fully supported. Once it's fully supported, we'll cut a couple new posts and debark them, and then we'll replace the floor. So Robert's over there right now pulling up the old rotten floor. We'll pull that up, maybe put some new floor framing in it, and then we'll go ahead and put a new floor in and some new posts on there to get that all cleaned up. So I gotta grab a tape measure so I can measure the length I need here, and I gotta get delimbing this, so let's get to it. Drop your cane, remember where you dropped it. It sucks when you gotta walk back to it. Oh, okay, here we go. It's getting warm out here today. Wasn't supposed to get that warm. After 2 years of this, or 2.5 years of using this Echo, it's a great saw, folks. I love it. Good for this kind of stuff, for sure. Now one of those is a bit small, but I think it'll work for this. It's already gotten hot out here. It was supposed to be in the 70s today. That was it, but it was 72 when I looked earlier, and I was like, wait, that's not what they called for. How does the door work without the crap in the way? Just fine, huh? Unfortunately, no, that's a wet one. I should have felt the other one first. roof up too. Now that post will just literally fall out.
And all sap.
You know, it doesn't help to have a friend whose back's buggered up who can't help you carry it.
We work for that breakfast.
Oh, the whole thing shifted to the right. Literally, the whole structure moved a little bit to the right.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. Hey, look, it's level again. Two trees down. All I gotta do is buck this one into a couple post lengths and peel it. So I'll go grab the tractor. We'll get it up with the tractor, get our measurements, and we'll go from there. Feet, 2 inches behind the 8. Wind is crazy.
Yeah. Just ripping through, knocked everything over.
Right? Funny thing is, I don't get that much wind here. I'm like, well, today's been a good day for a wind wing.
Oh, that's just not nice.
80?
In the shade.
Yeah. Oh, that cool off a lot, especially because it's soaking wet. Grab my saws. Everything's sitting out there.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, we got all this stuff in here. It's nails and stuff.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Well, we didn't get everything done that I hoped we could do yesterday, but part of that is because we got hit by a massive thunderstorm, big torrential downpour. It was pretty crazy. So that kind of shut everything down at that point. But my buddy Robert came out, and as you saw him earlier, he was working on the outhouse for me, the off-grid bathroom renovation. And I thought I'd show you what we did. You know, and if you don't know the story about this outhouse, well, I built it, this monster of an outhouse, back in 2013 when I decided it was time to put the composting drum into a insulated room that was heated, etc., for living out here. And that meant that I had to pull out the composting drum and have no bathroom inside the cabin while we built the back room and got it put in. So I built this outhouse, dug a hole, built a framework under it, set it up on top, and I had all these plans. I was gonna put actually a small, like a yacht wood stove in it or something for those super cold winters when you got a bunch of people out here and it's pretty cold and you want to heat up the outhouse. And that's why this outhouse was made so big. I just never finished it. I had a roof on it that was okay, but it had felt on it and it lasted too long, about 10 years, before I had to rebuild the roof and try to get all that redone. And I still didn't have the roofing material for it. So the thing is, we weren't using it. Once we put the composting toilet in the back room, we just never really used the outhouse, and it actually sat unused for quite a while. And it might have been used once or twice over a 10+ year span. And then about a year ago, some friends came out and we did a Jeep trail where we went out into, you know, the hillsides around here, did some ghost town hunting and some wheeling, and it was a great trip. And I had enough people here that we needed the outhouse. So my buddy Tim and I came out and we did a kind of minor tweaks on it just to kind of improve it a little bit. However, the OSB floor, which of course was right here, was exposed to the weather for so long that it just expanded and expanded and expanded. And it got to the point where you couldn't open the door. And then the outhouse itself settled quite a bit, and I tried jacking it up and things to try to improve it, and I couldn't take a bend out of it. It's got a bit of a bend between the door here and out here. So even now we can open the door all the way, as you can see. You couldn't before, and it does come close to this still. So there's a bit of a bend from somewhere in the middle here, kind of goes uphill a little bit here. But we came out and I had put new posts in that were pretty rotten. It was just in to hold this section, which was an add-on to try to protect this. So it literally was set a beam here, a couple posts and beams over here, and then extend the roof out. And so it's really kind of an attachment onto the whole thing. So, it worked for a long time, but those posts were rotting and they weren't good to begin with. It was sort of a temporary deal that became permanent. So I cut down this tree here yesterday. Actually, I cut down a couple. One we used to prop this up, and then these to put in, and these are dead standing, so you can actually see the pine beetle borers in them, and those are dead and dry. So, I just need to spray them with some borate, or even Home Defense Max will work at this point, just to keep bugs from really getting into them. But they're very dry, so they should be perfectly fine and last for years, especially if I can spray them and make sure no bugs get in here. Otherwise the woodpeckers will start pecking away at them. But we secured the beams to the outhouse better, and Robert got this floor built. And actually some Doug fir that I milled up, gosh, I think it was in the spring or maybe last fall, from a fungus killed dead fir. We just took one of those 2x6s I made and ripped it down on the sawmill to get it to 5 1/4 inch to match everything else. And then we're able to use that piece. So it needs to be treated. I need to put something on there to treat that. But otherwise, it's pretty good, and we got it sorted out. So I appreciate Robert coming out and taking care of that for me. Now we need to measure the roof to figure out what size roofing material I need so I can order some, and then hopefully before the snows fly in earnest, we can get that roof put on there. That'll help quite a bit, and maybe we can put some treatment on that pressure treated plywood as well as the rest, and maybe some silicone right at the entrance so that any water buildup there doesn't get into that OSB and destroy it even more. We don't want that. And there you have it, folks. Got the outhouse sorted out, at least as well as we could, despite a whole lot of rain and everything else. Appreciate you watching today. Got another video for you right here for you to check out. Y'all have a great day. The Old Jarhead out.